Oh, hey, pal. Bonne heureuse année there, friend. Welcome to 2024, landing in your inbox at 7 a.m. bright and early. Glad to be in your inbox and glad to be arriving on your doorstep on this, the first day of a brand new year. First year for our first day of a new year is always a bit intimidating. I feel like there's a lot of expectations put on it. I feel like there is a lot of marketing that happens around this time of year as well. There is a lot of kind of like deals and well, for sure in the health and wellness industry on the 1st of January is usually like, hey, do you have any health goals? What are your resolutions? Resolutions are for the birds. Don't set resolutions. Everybody has an opinion. I think you've got it figured out and you're doing okay so far. So I want you to know something about 2024 and Luka. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, that's a bit of a lie. I'm not going anywhere online. I will still be here through the year as the online world turns. I may be coming at you from a different spot later on in 2024. When that is all finalized and figured out, I will let you know a little bit more. But for right now, I want you to know I'm not going to come at you with coupons to save money or to help you achieve what those goals are, the health and wellness goals for 2024. And it may seem a bit counterintuitive. I can already hear a few people going, oh, Luka, you're missing a perfect opportunity. You know what? My opportunity is always here. I am always here, and I will always be here to help you with whatever it is that you have on the go and whatever your goals are. And whether that is a goal you set on January 1st or on June 26th, I'm going to be there anyway. So my goal for this year is to just continue to offer good content that resonates with you. And sometimes that necessitates a two-way conversation. So if you got this link to this video in an email, I want you to hit reply on that email and tell me what kind of things you want to see if you're not seeing what it is you need in terms of support. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you can jot down in the comments below what kind of content you would like to see on offer from ye old Luka Simmons. Okay, blah, 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 all those things aside, listen, I hope that 2024 is a year of delicious for you. I hope it is a year of good adventures for you. And I hope it is a year where you are gathering with your favorite people at a pace that feels manageable and doable for you. That does not feel like you're overextending yourself. And if that's once, good for you. If that's 82 times, good for you. It's different for each person. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Hey, listen, I have some fun things to share. I do this on the 1st of every month, landing in your inbox to tell you what kinds of things I have on offer so I can put it on your radar for the year or for the month ahead. And so for a couple of these, I'll be sending one more email each for these live classes that I'll be doing just to give you a last minute, hey, don't forget, I'm doing this in case you want to join us. But I'll tell you, if there's anything that catches your fancy right now, I want you to click on show more below this video, and you're going to see a bunch of links to different ideas. I'm going to tell you which number we're doing, and I'm going to number them 1 through, I think I have 6 today, so that you can know which ones you want to go to. So as we go through, I will name what the thing is and where you can find the link below. So they're all listed below in chronological time. I start with Good Food and You. So listen, Good Food and You is not getting a remake. Good Food and You is staying the same as it's been for the last year and a bit because there's a bit of a groove to it and it's starting to find its way. So I'm very happy to say that. Now, here at Good Food and You, there's a couple of things that happen every month. The Good Food Network is always on the go. So the doors are always open, and the network is really kind of a one-stop shop based on a specific topic that invites you to dive deep for 1 or 2 months on that one topic. And you can decide to stay for the next topic that comes afterwards, and you can leave whenever you want. You can come and go as you please. And it's the kind of place where it's a smorgasbord of things on offer so that you could take yourself through the content at your own pace. And as a consequence, because it is driven by your own ability to go log in and set yourself up to be successful and come in when, like, at least once a week, the price is pretty low. The price is totally affordable. It's $35 a month. And in the network, you get a series of different things. Now, I want to highlight that we're changing topics today, actually tomorrow, because I'm taking January 1st off. So on January 2nd, we're launching brand new content topic. We're going to be talking about the brain for the first 2 months of the year. I have never talked about the brain except for a class I did back in 2015 and 2016 for a group of lovely humans in Cremona. And then I ran the class once at the Light Cellar back in 2017, I think it was. So it's been a very long time since I've done anything on the brain. And the brain is one of those organs that feels the impact of inflammation quite readily. Because everything I do is about reducing inflammation, whether that's chronic disease, histamine issues, or some kind of autoimmune condition, or those symptoms that start to add up and is making it tricky to move through your day. And the brain is on the receiving end of inflammation quite readily, and the kind of thing that tends to show up after a long time of inflammation. So we're going to be talking about the brain. Oh, yes, I pulled this out. Okay, so I wanted to give you an idea of who would the Good Food Network be for? Well, it would be for the person who wants to support their brain and to nourish it deeply. And I'm going to give you 10 more reasons here. But it is also for the person who is looking to, I would say, somebody who is a former client and is wanting to get back into some of those ideas we chatted about when we worked one-on-one, and you're looking to get reacquainted with them. Because here's the secret. My recommendations are the same for everyone. Doesn't matter if you have heart troubles, brain troubles, blood sugar balancing issues, histamine issues, or chronic disease. All of the work is the same. I repeat myself time and again. And after a while, you get those repetitive things. And a lot of what I do ties into the season as well. So in January, February, we're really honing in on winter stuff and going inwards and tending our inner flame. And for the first 2 months, we're doing it all in the name of the brain and the nervous system. So this is going to be particularly of importance if you have a family history or you yourself struggle with any type of degenerative disease in the brain or the nervous system. So cognitive decline, I will count in there, like Alzheimer's and dementia. If you have a family history of Alzheimer's and dementia, nutrition can be a part of your insurance policy to ensure that you do not have the same, or that doesn't show up in your future, potentially. Depends how much you get into it, and I can't make any promises, but how you feed yourself has a really big say in the development of chronic disease later on. It's a part of it. It's not everything, but it's a big part of it. So if there is a family history, or if you yourself, it's never too late, are working through cognitive decline or any type of memory issues like Alzheimer's and dementia, this is going to be the place to hang out in January and February. Anybody who struggles with mood or anxiety is going to be number 2. Mood and anxiety tells us there's a biochemistry that's not necessarily working well in the brain to help balance moods. Number 3, brain fog. Anybody who struggles through brain fog, whether you see brain fog as I don't have enough energy, or brain fog, it takes me a really long time to come up with that thing that I need, or you're working through like, where's the answer to this? I'm going through my brain. I can't find it. I put it over here, I think. If you're living that sort of life, oh, hi, I guess we'll see you in the Good Food Network. Anybody who is working through neurodivergence. I don't necessarily think there's anything broken when we have neurodivergence showing up, but it sure tells us that you have your body needs more of certain kinds of nutrients when there's neurodiversity. What's neurodiversity? Autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia. Those are the big ones, the big common ones. So if you yourself have any of these conditions, or wonder if you do, or if you are caring for a neurodivergent child where you need to support them through the growing stages and puberty and all the other business of growing up, then this is also going to be of great value to you. In addition, if you are looking after an elder or a special needs adult that has neurodivergence, then we are going to focus in on how best to nourish the nervous system so that we can give those nutrients the body really needs. And the more neurodivergence you have, the more you're lacking some of those important nutrients, the more you may need to actually replenish those in the diet. And it's going to be delicious. I promise you. We're not going to go, yeah, we'll eat seaweed. I think seaweed's delicious. Not everybody does. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something like what's really gross, like bitter greens. Like it's not like you have to go eat endives. Although I really like endives. Trying to find a food that's, oh, sardines. Yeah, sardines are awesome. If you don't like sardines, then we'll find another food for you. We make it delicious. All right, number 5. Anybody who struggles, this will be a surprise. Anybody who struggles with constipation or diarrhea. Here's why. The link between the brain and the gut is unequivocally very clear how important it is to support that. And the medications, this is just to give you an illustration of it, the medications that I've developed to help in the early stages to help address constipation were found out to actually help alleviate depression. And those medications that were formulated to try to address diarrhea were found to actually be able to look after anxiety. And it was found that those who struggle with anxiety have a higher correlation of diarrhea. And those who struggle with low moods had a higher correlation of constipation. So, do you struggle with constipation? Do you struggle with diarrhea? Oh, then this Vitality Brain class will also, or it's not, well, okay, hang on. There is the class Vitality Brain in there, but the whole network will be talking about how to look after your gut and your brain. That's going to be a massive piece of the picture to help improve bowel movements to support your brain and nervous system. That's one of the big things we'll be covering. Number 6, do you have blood sugar balancing issues where you know you're hypoglycemic, you're hangry a lot, or do you maybe have a type 2 diabetes diagnosis, even type 1? The incidence of brain, like strokes and conditions that impact your brain and your nervous system, they tend to be higher correlated to people who have type 2 diabetes, strokes in particular. Like the numbers are through the roof. If you have type 2 diabetes, your risk to develop strokes is almost double. So if you have type 2 diabetes or any type of blood sugar balancing issue, these next 2 months in the network are going to dive into really nourishing the brain and looking after that, giving you that insurance policy. Number 7, who else could do well in the Good Food Network in January and February? Well, if you've ever struggled with a concussion, a motor vehicle accident, or any type of head trauma, we are going to go deep into how to nourish when that is a part of the scenario. Yeah, you can absolutely look after the brain through the gut, through deep nutrition, lots of different ways to help best that cognitive function and help your brain come back as much online as we can. Number 8, who else could benefit from this Vitality Brain or from the brain focus for the next 2 months? Anybody who has low fatigue or really low energy. Yeah, I mean, you'll still need to get it, like commit to hanging out for at least an hour in the network every week. But if you struggle with persistent low fatigue and low energy, or lots of fatigue and energy, then the network is going to be of service to you the next 2 months. And I mean, obviously, if you yourself or anybody in your care is struggling with any type of diagnosis that impacts the brain or the nerves of the body, whether it's something like MS or ALS or Parkinson's or a family history of it, whether it's anybody dealing with seizures or with brain cancer, any type of chronic big D disease that's showing up in the brain or the nervous system, joining the Good Food Network is going to give you some food-based and nutrition-based solutions to help build that insurance policy so that everything can function a little bit better and we can take some of the pressure off of the brain and nervous system. And last but not least, if you struggle with nerve tingling or any kind of nerve pain, chronic pain issues, then looking after your brain and your entire nervous system is going to be a benefit. And I invite you to come join us in the Good Food Network for the months of January and February. So one of the biggest things to know, what I'm really excited about in the Good Food Network, is that Vitality Brain class that I've name checked a few times without telling you what it is, I realize. So back in 2016, I developed a whole series of classes called the Vitality Sessions. There was one for the heart, the gut, the brain, actually, bones, thyroid, liver. There's one for histamine. There was one for inflammation. And there's been different ones along the way. I've now built in a blood sugar balancing one, an adrenals one. There's lots of different variations in that Vitality Sessions series. And the brain was the first one I developed. And it was by request from a group in Cremona who said, we really want to help protect against dementia and Alzheimer's. So I developed a full class, called it Vitality Brain, how to look after the brain to keep its vitality. Oh, la, la, that's what it means. Then I quickly ran it three times, that's it. And then that went dormant for a number of years. And so over the last month of December, I spent a couple of weeks putting it back together, upgrading the content, streamlining it, and making it way more user-friendly so that you can go in and take just small chunks at a time. And that Vitality Brain class is not available anywhere else. So you're only able to get it through the GoodFood network as it stands. There's 13 videos of it. You get to sit down and hang out for short bursts of time and make your way through it. What the Vitality Brain class does, it helps you identify what are the things that are driving the problems in your brain and nervous system. So you get a better understanding of what the brain is, what the nervous system is, all the different parts. And you get to know, okay, if I have cognitive decline, what's happening in my body that's making the cognition decline? What's the biochemistry that's going on? And how can I reduce that biochemistry from showing up? How do I reduce how much of that fire is driving the problems in my brain and my nervous system? And then you do that through food. And so we get into those solutions. So in that Vitality Brain class, only available in the network, will you get all of those pieces. So it's really meant to help arm you with those pieces you need to help identify what is driving the issues for you. And then that sets you up with solutions as well. So we're not just about pointing things out, we're also about arming you and empowering you to get to know how to move forward. So it's only available in the GoodFood network. So link number one below. Link number one is going to be the GoodFood network. It's a month-by-month subscription service kind of thing. I'm not supposed to call it that, but it's what it is. It's a members site where you pay to get access. There's live content every week, recorded content available all the time. We're doing Brain for 2 months. So come and hang out for 2 months and let's have a good time. Item number one. Item number two below. I have a recipe subscription service. So if you're receiving this through the newsletter, well, chances are you got 2 weeks of recipes towards the end of December. That was in thanks for existing in my gallery. It was also to help highlight and show you what it is that I do as a holistic nutrition practitioner and what my work entails. I have a good sense of what it is I do, but a lot of people don't know what a holistic nutrition person does, really. Do you just tell them to eat oatmeal and to add flax seeds to things? Rarely do I ever give those two indications. My work is in helping you figure out how to make food work for you and how to make things really nourish the body on a deeper level. And better understand, okay, if I have these issues, it tells me these nutrients are lacking. Where do we get those foods? Where do we get those nutrients? Let's feature these foods. You're really low in these foods. And if we start to bolster up and build that insurance policy with these foods, now you're going to see a reduction in those symptoms because we're supporting the body and nourishing it so that it can be the best it can be. And the best way I can tell someone is, hey, here's a recipe, try it. The hardest thing about that is you try a recipe and, unless you're sticking to this way of eating, you're not necessarily going to see a big shift. But it's a really nice, gentle place to start because so much of what I do is in helping people figure out how to make food work for them. What you eat 3 to 5 times a day has a potential of making things better or adding to what your system has to handle. And so in doing this, I wanted to share with you that I have a new subscription for January. Started off today. The email goes out at 9 a.m., but you can sign up whenever and I'll still send them to you if they've already been sent out. So the subscription service sends you 5 recipes once a month. It's usually on the 1st, unless you join halfway through the month, and I send you that one soon after you register. But those 5 recipes are usually on the topic of the month. And they're the same recipes that are in the Good Food Network. So if you've never, ever taken anything with me before, this is a really nice entry-level spot. It's $5 a month, 5 recipes. And the recipes this month will be to support the brain. So our 5 recipes, we have tahini dressings. We have braised short ribs. We have chicken noodle soup, super yummy, and will fit all dietary protocols. We have a hummus recipe, homemade hummus recipe. And we have a medicinal mushroom long brew with ideas on what to do with the long brew afterwards. I've been talking about it on the socials lately. So those are the 5 recipes that are coming your way in January. And if you're on the newsletter, then, or if you are in the subscription for the recipes, then you'll also get the recipes. If you're in the Good Food Network, you already get them in the network as well. They're the same in both places because I wanted to offer a sort of cheat little entry level for those who just want recipes who may not have an hour a week to join us in the network. So check out those recipes. That'll be link number 2. There's more information on what that whole thing entails. It's $5 a month for 5 recipes. So check that out if you're looking to boost the new year with some delicious ways to make food work for you. That's what you're going to get into this month. Okay. That's number 2. Now let's move on to number 3. Number 3, I'm doing a live class on January 17th, and we're calling it Loving Your Brain Via Your Guts. And this is building that insurance policy more than any other concept that I will be going through in the next 2 months. So loving your brain via your guts is also, if you're in the network, you will get instant access to the class. You are invited to join us live if you want. You'll get the replay afterwards. For anybody who's like, I just want that one class, Luka. You give me too many things. Can we please just have that one class about the gut and the brain connection? Yeah, you can. It's $25. An extra 10 gets you the whole network for the whole month. But you know, you do you, baby. I'm about giving you abundance. So the Loving Your Brain Via Your Guts is going to happen on Wednesday, January 17th. It's a 9 a.m. class. If you can't join us live, a replay link goes out and you get 10 days to watch it. So that's going to be link number 3, Loving Your Brain Via Your Guts. Number 4, I am doing another class. I'm doing another rendition of a one I ran for free at the Light Cellar in December, except I'm extending it and it's going to have a lot more content. And it is eating with the winter season. So aligning ourselves with the winter season. So if you want to join us for that, that is going to be at the Light Cellar on Sunday, January 28th. We're just finalizing the details. If by the time this email reaches you, I may have a link below for it. If that's the case, then great. You can go check it out. Yeah. I'm still trying to finalize all the details for that. So that's link number 4. Now I'm also doing a standalone class for a group out of Ottawa at the National Arts Centre towards the end of January. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll talk about gut and bug immunity and supporting the immune system. So I'm looking forward to that on January 26th. Now switching gears and going over to Histamine Haven, I've got 2 things I want to highlight. So today we're the 1st. January 11th, next week, it's next Thursday, we're doing a free class called the Histamine Connection, and we're zeroing in on the gut and how histamine shows up in the gut. So if you have histamine-mediated issues and you want to learn more about histamines, you're trying to make better sense of it, whether your symptoms show up in the gut or not, the most common ones we see in the gut will be acid reflux, diarrhea. That was the one that told me it was a histamine issue. Oh, fine. I lost some pants along the way. Yeah. Other things that show up in the gut, IBS, SIBO, constipation actually can have a little bit of histamine or mast cell involvement. There are other gut related ones. Why can't I think of them right off the bat? Bloating, acid reflux, GERD, heartburn, whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the others right off the top of my head. I usually need the list in front of me of what it all looks like. But listen, if you have histamine-mediated issues or you said yes to any of the symptoms I just name-checked, we have a free class coming up. And it's taking place on January 11th. Same thing. If you can't join us live, it's at 7 p.m. If you can't be there in person, then you can join us from on the replay. So there's a link that goes out and you can get the replay for that coming up afterwards. So that's a free class. Like, it's just a really nice way to get deep into, okay, what is histamine and how does it impact me? Like, how do I know if I have it? And what do I need to do if I figure out that, oh my gosh, this is me? Then we get you on your way. So that's the first thing to know. The second thing, which is why I'm having a hard time sleeping at night in the last 2 months. No, I'm actually sleeping pretty good, but the stress levels have been rising for this. We are actually launching a brand new membership site in 2024. We're not launching it in January because we're just putting the finishing touches on the basic level of it first. I want to vomit as I talk about it because it makes me, I'm so nervous about this. I think it's going to, I know it's going to be great. I'm terrified of the amount of work that went into it and how, and anyway, that's just me. So listen, here's the deal. We're going to launch, we need some beta testers for it first. So if you know you have histamine or mast cell activation issues, I want you to send me an email. So you can find my email on my website, lukasimmons.com. You can, of course, email me if you want, lukasimmons@gmail.com. Because, okay, first of all, we're going to do beta testing. So we need a group of about 20 people to do a run through of what it is first and give us feedback on how it works and help us know if we've put all of our ducks in a row and all the automation is in place. So that's the first piece. Second piece, we're actually doing a crowdfunding campaign to launch it. So far, we have sunk in about $25,000 of our own money, and we have another $27,500 to go to do the finishing touches. We had to hire somebody to build it because I can't. It's beyond my scope. Like, it's actually going to work. The stuff I build is very DIY and utilitarian, and it doesn't work. So we had to hire somebody to build it for us because it is a massive undertaking of 10 different courses where each can take you from 1 day to 6 weeks for the 10 courses. Then we have 2 other sections of master classes and solving daily dilemmas. We're doing a whole section on some mental health support and meditation section. We're doing there's a lot of different moving pieces to this, and it's one big umbrella to help you personalize and individualize an approach to resolving histamine and mast cell activated issues, which is no small feat. I like to say if I have migraines and my neighbor Mandy has migraines, mine might be, both are histamine, by the way, mine might be because there's an issue at my gut, and Mandy's may be because she has an issue at the liver. So I need a protocol that's going to do gut stuff, keeping histamine in check, and Mandy needs a histamine approach that is going to address the liver. So while we both have the same symptom, we need 2 different approaches. So we needed one-stop shop that had all of the solutions for everybody with the choose your own adventure kind of thing. So you could move through the moving parts one at a time to help figure out what it is you've got and how to identify what the problem is. So then you can know where to go and what steps to put in place for yourself. So it's massive, massive undertaking. So we are $27,650 short to reach the finish line. So what we're doing, our lovely team who's putting the whole thing together, we're like, can we pay you after it launches? We can't remortgage the house anymore. Like all of these different things. So they said, yeah, go do the crowdfunding campaign. So that's what we're doing. So that's what I want to tell you about. We're doing a crowdfunding campaign where we're raising the money to pay for the thing so that we can say we're now open for business. We've been running everything for 3+ years. Now we started in 2019. It's going to be 5 years now, and we haven't been paid yet. And we have forked over 25,000, actually probably more like $50,000 out of our pocket. And it's our own thing. Like, I'm not here to guilt anybody into it. We decided to do that. But to see this to fruition, we are $27,650 short. So what we're doing in this crowdfunding campaign is we're offering early access to some of the stuff that's going to be in the membership site for those who need those resources right now. And we're giving access to them at a lower cost in the hopes, and as you pay for access to the early content, that's going to help us fund and pay our guy who's building the whole thing. Yeah. Does that make sense? So if you have histamine or mast cell mediated issues, if you have chronic disease issues, if you are someone who looks after people who have chronic disease, histamine or mast cell issues, or any of those sensitive conditions where you react to things, or if you have clients in your care who don't react the way you think they should when you offer the treatment that you're known for, and all of a sudden they react in a different way, you need to understand that your people have histamine and mast cell issues, and a histamine or mast cell person never reacts the way you think they will to a course of treatment. We know that one too well. So you need to find out about this crowdfunding campaign. So link number 6 below is going to be the crowdfunding campaign information. But what you're doing is you're signing up for our newsletter at Histamine Haven. And then we're going to be emailing people to let you know about the crowdfunding campaign launch. And we're launching on January 22nd. So it's really exciting. I'm spending the next 3 weeks with Tracy in a bunker where we're going to be putting it all together. Please send help and snacks. Make them low histamine, please, because both of our symptoms are blowing out because we're so overwhelmed with all this. But it's going to be amazing. Like, it is going to be remarkable and reliable, and you are going to have everything laid out for you so that you can find the solution for yourself if you have histamine or mast cell issues. But for us to get there, we have almost everything else ready. We need $27,650 to pay the bills so we can turn on the lights in the place. And we've invested lots already. We're asking for half of what we've invested so far, plus all the time we've never been paid for. We need your help. So can you help us out? It's really going to be kind of fun. We're going to do some silly things, and we're going to do some super outrageous things, and some really awesome deep content. That's going to be really, really easy content for you to access. I'm just going to email you links. Anyway, I'd love to see you in the crowdfunding campaign. If you're like, oh, I want to help you guys, but I don't have histamine issues, can you then still sign up for the newsletter? And when we send that out, can you let people in your circle know who have chronic disease, who are people who react to a lot of things? Like, they're the person who says, oh God, please don't wear perfume because it just gives me a migraine. Like, that's me. If you have a loved one who has chronic disease, has been in chronic disease for a long time, and nothing is working, it's very often a mast cell activation issues. It's really hard to get a diagnosis for it. And it's a really relatively new thing that they've discovered. I think it's always been there. So it's really tricky to get answers for. We're going to have it all in one place. So if you know anyone who has this kind of thing going on in their life, they are going to want to know about it, because this is going to help them get their solutions. Could you share the campaign information with them when we launch? Could you just put a little note in your mind and go, oh yeah, right. Okay, I'm going to let so-and-so know, because Aunt Judy really struggles with that thing. So I know she's really going to want to know what this is. Oh, I'm on their newsletter. Oh yeah, it's campaign launch day. Well, I'm going to give my $5 because I want you to shout my name from the rooftops towards the mountains, Luka, with your toque on, because that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to send it to my Aunt Judy and say, I think when you have histamine or mast cell issues, like, I think you're really going to like these gals and what they offer. It's going to find solutions for you. So could you help us connect with people who will need this service? Okay, I'm done. Listen, 2024 is just ahead of us. And as it is at this time of year, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like that fear of missing out because, oh gosh, I need to grab all of these deals and jump on the bandwagon and make decisions for things. That goes against the grain of what this time of year is. Think about the plants and the animals. What are they doing right now? They are riotous underneath the earth. The roots are figuring out what they're going to do this year. The animals are resting and rejuvenating and restoring some of their health, waiting for the new spring so they can come back out and be out in the world. And we should be doing the same. So if you don't feel in alignment with what's being asked of all of us right now, you're not wrong. So I want you to listen to that. And I want you to create moments of calm and peace in your coming days, because that's what the body's asking for. So you create those moments and then tell me how that feels. I'd be curious to know. I wish you a brilliant 2024. May it be a delicious year. May it be one that has the solutions and answers to questions you are asking, and that you may find wonder in the everyday. I'll see you around. Bye, friend.